acknowledged that rest and hydration are key to recovery of those affected is becoming more acceptable. In the same way, the culture of regular washing of hands with soap and water, use of alcohol-based hand sanitizers, and social distancing are more common than ever. This is the thrust of our discussion on Sunday Magazine. Of course, there are many more reports on our lineup to spice up your evening. Do enjoy the show. I am Ifoma Ojinta, and I'll be right back. Services Secretariat, Kawu Mohammed, disclosed
track all suspects until FCT is declared free of the pandemic.
Each committee has its own function. For instance, the case management subcommittee deals with a diagnosed case of COVID-19, and they take charge from the time we hand over
the isolation shelter we have for Gwagwalada Teaching Hospital that is under construction now will be in place in the next 3 weeks. So the temporary site that you are using now is a new structure that is well equipped and is functioning.
So far, 39 cases have been reported and tested in the FCT, but only 4 were confirmed to be positive.
And still on the issue of the COVID-19 has continued to generate concerns with over 186 countries of the world affected by the spread of the virus. Hakimat Aliyu in this background report highlights the situation as well as precautionary measures put in place to contain the dreaded disease.
The virus, now spreading like wildfire, is ravaging countries of the world. Constant increase in the number of confirmed cases and deaths, including Nigeria.
In our teams to various places.
The government took more stringent precautionary measures by putting a ban on travelers coming into Nigeria from affected countries, restrictions on public and religious gatherings, and other closure of schools, amongst others. Many are, however, of the opinion that there is a need for proper monitoring.
Government should try and make a final solution to it so that we'll get the mess, what will cure it.
They shouldn't entertain much fear, because if you're able to maintain personal hygiene, and again, if you're able to follow the awareness, the guideline being published by the Federal Ministry of Health and the rest, I hope with that there's nothing to fear about.
People have to take precautions so that they won't expose themselves to this virus. So we provide necessary things in the hospital like the hand sanitizers. When people are coming in, they get to sanitize their hands.
To check compliance with some of the restrictions and guidelines.
Many thanks, Hakimat, for that background report. And of course, I have 2 guests in the studio to do justice to this topic. I have the Acting Secretary, Health and Human Services Secretariat, NTA, is Kawu Mohammed. So you're welcome to our studio.
Thank you.
And we also have a regular face in the house, the Director of Public Health, FCT Health Secretariat. She's Dr. Josephine Okechukwu. You're welcome to our studio.
Thank you.
Now, let's start with you, Acting Secretary. The Emergency Response Team on COVID-19 has just been inaugurated. What is the mandate of the committee?
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, viewers. The mandate is to coordinate the emergency response of this dreaded COVID-19 that's ravaging the world in the FCT. You may wish to know that nationally there is emergency response committee, and each state is supposed to have its own. Okay. But because of the cases we got, we had to reinvigorate it, and expand it, ensure that all stakeholders are members, from private, public, the tertiary institutions, and everybody that has business with the health sector.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, Dr. Josephine, we also learned that another, it is another confirmed case of the COVID-19 here in the FCT. What is the situation now?
Yes, one case was identified yesterday, was diagnosed yesterday. We picked up the patient from his home and we took him to the treatment center in University of Abuja Teaching Hospital. So he's under complete care now by the management team. So he's receiving the required attention that he needs.
Okay,
he's stable as of this evening.
What about the other 3 cases?
The other 3 cases are very stable.
Okay.
They are very stable. I spoke with them when I visited them this morning. Yes, they are all okay. Okay. They are doing well.
Okay. How equipped now, Dr. Josephine?
Meeting of all religious leaders, that is both the Khan and the League of Imams, and then the Inspector General of Police, the DGSSS, and all the other relevant stakeholders. And decision has been taken that we must restrict the number of people going to worship centers. And it was agreed that at then, not more than 50 must go there. And anybody going, they must take his details, telephone number, name, so that in case of anybody infected, we will be able to trace and contact. With the confirmation of some cases, I believe the religious leaders will even reduce this number from 50 to maybe 20, or even ask people taking it to public places, hospitals, and other places. And we advise the owners of all these public places to also institute hand washing and personal hygiene among their people. The places that we cannot close, we must monitor them, we must educate them, we must tell them what to do. If they have adequate information, then the panic will reduce. But if they are not informed, then the panic will continue.
Okay, now, Dr. Josephine, the recovery of the Italian, that is the index case, and the second case in Lagos, gives a lot of hope on the treatment of the infection.
A lot of research is going on concerning it, and so many countries have the trials of different drugs. Chloroquine is part of them. But for us in Nigeria, the Nigerian Center for Disease Control does not really go for it. We have our antivirals, in as much as COVID-19 is a viral infection. Antivirals are being used in Nigeria, coupled with antibiotics in case there's any underlying infection, bacterial infection. So that is what we are using in Nigeria. It could work for some other people, but it's still not really fully established per se. Okay. So that is it. First, people should stop rushing to buy chloroquine. So many people are stocking chloroquine. After stocking and you don't get the COVID, what happens? And people will still go ahead to take it to prevent. And they will end up getting toxic, having some poisoning from chloroquine. So we should desist from that. We have other ways to, by which we can prevent COVID-19.
Okay, there are some on the media, social media, that natural VT, use of intake of natural vitamin C, is also a way of preventing the COVID-19. How true is this?
What does vitamin C do? It's not really, when we say there is an infection, you need to address that particular microorganism causing that infection. People taking vitamin C, it does not stop them from coming down with COVID-19 if they are exposed. Once you have that exposure and you place yourself at risk, vitamin C cannot really help. The only thing that it does is to boost immunity. It's like for some patients, it does not really prevent the acquisition of this virus. So when people take it, it's not enough. The precautionary measures are the most important. Prevention, hand washing with soap like we have been talking about, and then keeping respiratory hygiene. Yes.
Okay. And the next question is for you, Acting Secretary. We all know that the nation's capital is home to many public servants, who commute from satellite and its objectives.
We just inaugurated it today, and then we allocated so many tasks and responsibilities to different teams. We have different pillars. So even as we are talking now, they are still working. They are in the office working on their thematic areas. So we need to really supervise them and monitor their activities and make sure that they are up in line with what the guideline says, and then work up to standard. So we are going to ensure that we have the coordination team, right, that coordinates what we are meant to do. And we keep on reviewing how far we have gone, activities that are supposed to be implemented, and then look for ways forward, learn from our, identify challenges, and then know what to do. We are like keen into Lagos. We are just baby in terms of COVID-19. Lagos has really done well, so we are going to look at what are the best practices, right? What made them to be successful. Then we imbibe the same into our system, and we pray that it will work. Everybody is committed. From what I saw today, it was quite impressive.
Yeah, we're hopeful then.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Mohammed, what?
Later you may not get the thing, but if you are sure that you're going to get what you need, then there is no point rushing to go and get it.
Okay.
So that is what FCT is doing. Okay. Unless the situation gets out of hand, which we don't pray, the markets, the shopping malls are all open for residents to go and get what they need and go back to their houses.
Okay, now, Dr. Josephine, your final thoughts on this discussion.
We are appealing to FCT populace that they should be calm. COVID-19 is not a death sentence. We've not had any mortality. And then let us have a clean environment. We'll all go through this and come out good at the end of the day. COVID-19 will come and go like any other plague.
All right, so. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure having both of you here. Kawu Mohammed, Acting Secretary, Health and Human Services, FCTA, and the Director of Public Health, FCTA Health Secretariat, Mrs. Josephine Okechukwu. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Now, we take a break now. Sunday Magazine continues shortly. Put their trust in God, who reigns supreme in the affairs of man. This, among other messages, formed the spiritual digest at some churches visited in the nation's capital. Mariam Jitubor also monitored the compliance to the restriction of gatherings at worship centers.
Due to the precautionary measures against COVID-19, there was restriction of gathering at worship centers to a maximum of 50 persons at a given time. At the EYN Church of the Brethren in Nigeria,
as the word of God says, that the light shines in the darkness, and this darkness will not comprehend it. So this darkness will not stand. It will soon fade away.
I encourage every Nigerian to trust God that a time will come that this will be the thing of the past.
Worshippers raised their voices against the ravaging virus called COVID-19.
Minister of Youth and Sports Development speaks on how the ministry is handling the coronavirus pandemic as players and competitions can fall victims of COVID-19. Kama has details on Sports Brief.
Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Sunday Dare, says the ministry is adopting a proactive approach to the COVID-19 pandemic rather than reactive, as evident in the postponement of the 20th National Sports Festival in Edo State. Dare, in an interview with NTA Sports in Abuja, revealed that the Extraordinary Council of Sports meeting in Benin, earlier billed for this weekend, was also precautionary.
This has been, I think, the worst week for COVID-19. The numbers have climbed. People are trying to also, at their own, within their communities, trying to sort out a lot of things. We just felt pulling them out again at this point might be stretching it too much. We plan to hold it in the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
On the foreign scene, Fellaini, who joined Chinese Super League side Shandong Liang.
Thank you so much for sparing your time with us. See you next week.